my name's Kenzie, and today we're learning 3-hoop manipulations. This is a follow-along video meant for you to work step by step through the class, but feel free to pause or skip through the video as needed to work at your own pace. This is my favorite style of tricks to do with 3 hoops, so I'm super excited to share this with you all. Today's class is going to be for all skill levels, but there will be more advanced variations of the tricks. For today's class, you're going to need 3 hoops that are the same size and the same weight. For 3-hoop manipulations, I prefer like 26 to 27 inch diameter, and I prefer the 5/8 Polypro. So it's a little bit more thin and easier to hold multiple hoops in your hands. For today's class, the only prerequisite that you need is to know how to do these Ocho grip drops. Okay? If you're not familiar with this trick, check out the tutorial link in the description of this video. If you haven't taken a class with me before, my teaching style is I like to give you as much information as possible. So it's okay if you can't do every single thing in the class today, but you'll have this video to go back to and work through things at your own pace. Learning these tricks can put a lot of strain on your wrist, so I want you to pause the video and take a few minutes to warm up your wrists and your shoulders. All right, the first thing we're gonna learn today is placement juggling. So this is a really fun thing to add in to your 3-hoop sequences. It's really low pressure, and there's lots of different variations that we can do with it. So you're gonna start with 2 hoops in your dominant hand, 1 hoop in the other hand. You're going to cross the 2 hoops over to the opposite shoulder and place 1 hoop. So you should be in this position here. Now, the hoop that's at the bottom in your opposite hand is going to cross your body and place on the opposite shoulder. Now, you can bring your hand on the inside of the hoop and simply remove down off your shoulder and place the next hoop across. So you're removing 1 hoop and placing the next hoop. And you're always crossing to the opposite side. You can do this real slow until you feel comfortable and you can start to speed up the movement. It's really fun to add in some movement, turn your body with it. We can also explore different ways to remove the hoop. So right now we're bringing our hand on the inside and coming down. We can also bring our hand down to the bottom and flip the hoop down. So depending on the size of your hoop, this will vary where you need to grab, but you'll grab at the bottom and flip. Grab at the bottom and flip. Okay? And we can also play with different ways to place the hoops. Rather than placing in front of our body, we can come behind and place. So when you have the hoops on your shoulder in this position here, instead of coming in front, you're gonna bring the hoop behind, between the hoop on your shoulder and your body, come up, and then hook your elbow like a chicken wing on the inside, okay? From the back, you have 1 hoop on your shoulder, bring the hoop up, back, hook your elbow in, and release that other hoop. So I like to combine maybe 1 forward, 1 from behind, come back. And there's no rules to this. We can play around with placing on our knee, for example. So instead of crossing over to your shoulder, you'll place on the opposite knee and come over, okay? And for that one, I'm kind of using the bottom of my foot to hold the hoop on my knee. So the outside of my foot and the inside of my leg is kind of holding that hoop in place as I come over, place, and remove. So spend some time just playing around with these movements, getting comfortable, playing with going reverse, forward, start of the pattern, 2 hoops in one hand, bring it across, place one on your shoulder, and come back to this position. Place on the opposite shoulder, remove, place on the opposite shoulder, remove. The next thing we're going to learn is this over the head placement. Okay, you're going to start with 2 hoops in the ocho grip with your palm facing down. And the other hoop is going to be at the bottom, also with your palm facing down. Okay, we're always going into the center hoop. So we have this nice pretty line, a straight vertical line. You're going to come inside the hoop, release the hoop from the back, and grip the hoop at the bottom. Now lift and come into the next hoop, grab at the bottom, release from the back. Come into the next hoop, grab at the bottom, release from the back. Notice you have to twist to come back to that palm facing down position. Okay, one more time. We have our ocho grip vertical with our palm facing down and our other hand palm facing down. Come into the center hoop, grab at the bottom, release at the back, twist to come into the next hoop, grab at the bottom, release at the back, twist, come into the next hoop. Okay, and eventually you can do this in one fluid motion. Twist down, grab, twist down. With 3 hoop manipulations, it can get kind of confusing to know how to transition from one trick to another. So we're going to focus on that a lot in this class. For example, this over the head placement, we can transition back into the regular placements. So from here, you're going to release from the back, twist your ocho grip to thumb facing up, come across your body, place one hoop, and release. So now we're in the position to continue the placement juggling. One more time. We're doing the overhead placement, and when we want to switch, release from the back, twist our ocho grip to thumb up, cross our body, place one hoop, and we're set up for the placements. With 3 hoop manipulation, we always want to pay attention to the shape that we're making. So we're going to play around a lot with this horizontal line as well as this vertical line. So you just want to pay attention to the shape and not be crooked over here or over here. Keep that nice straight line. Now there's a lot of different things we can do with this single hoop. For example, we can toss the hoop under our arm. You're going to start with your ocho grip, thumb up, and your single hoop, thumb up. Flip the single hoop to thumb down, come under your arm and toss straight up to catch the hoop, thumb up on top of your arm. Now you can twist, 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 back to that thumb up position. Okay? And pay attention to how you're tossing the hoop. You can toss it straight up and twist out, or you can bring your arm up higher and toss all the way back to that starting position where you don't need to twist the hoop. So there's tons of different variations you can do and things you can play around with. We can also add in things like a waist wrap if that's a trick that you're familiar with. So you'll notice you have to kind of hold the 2 hoops up and out of the way so you have space for that waist wrap. But it's just fun, different visual things you can play around with that you know how to do with the 1 hoop. We can also add in rolls. So for example, I'm going to roll halfway off my chest and it's going to fall off at your opposite shoulder. So you're just simply holding the other 2 hoops. Let the hoop roll and catch underneath. Again, nice. Now we can add in these ocho drops. So this completely changes the visual of our trick. For example, if we toss and add in that Ocho grip drop, it completely changes the visual. So you want to do this step by step at first, and then you can do it as one fluid motion. So you can drop your Ocho grip to thumb down, toss, and flip back to the line here. Again, flip to thumb down, come under your arm, drop your Ocho to thumb down, toss, and twist everything back to thumb up. Okay? We can also do this with our rolls. We can drop and roll the hoop, so that completely changes the visual. We can also add in a drop as we do the waist wrap. So I want you to just play around with different things that you know how to do with your single hoop, even just like a palm spin, maybe a hand roll, while adding in that Ocho drop. Another really fun thing you can do with the 3 hoops is this drop back to the straight line. So we go from this triangle shape back to our straight line. So with our 2 hoops, we're just doing an Ocho drop and flipping back to thumb up. And the single hoop is coming down, and then when it gets here and your thumb is facing down, let it rotate on the back of your hand back to thumb up. So again, down, 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 roll over the top of your hand, back to thumb up. Get comfortable with that motion, back and forth. Then we can add it in with the Ocho drop. So pay attention to the shape that you're making. You want to drop your Ocho to thumb down at the same time that you bring this hoop down. So we're in this pretty triangle shape here. Now we can rotate over the top of our hand and flip back to thumb up. Drop, rotate back to thumb up. And now we can add in some of those other tosses we were doing. Come back to our line, maybe try a roll. Get creative with it. All right, this is your friendly reminder to stretch out your wrist, pause the video, take a break as you need. We're gonna jump into the next manipulation. I'll show you what it looks like first, and then we'll break it down. Okay, what's happening with the 2 hoops is just an Ocho grip drop from thumb up, thumb down, back to thumb up. Drop, flip back to thumb up. Okay? And with the single hoop, what's happening is you're coming from palm facing down, bringing the hoop up and back down. Up and down. From the side, up and down. Really pay attention to using your wrist to bring the hoop up all the way on top of your hand. So we're keeping in this straight line. Okay? Now, all together, you're gonna have the hoops in the Ocho grip, thumb facing up, and then the single hoop, palm facing down. At the same time that we drop the Ocho grip, you're going to bring the hoop up to the top. Okay? We're in our triangle, drop, and bring the hoop up. Now we have our thumb facing down and our palm facing up here. We're gonna rotate the whole shape back down to the bottom, thumb up and palm facing down. Again, drop, bring the hoop up, crank the whole shape back down to the bottom. Drop, and back down to the bottom. Nice. And of course, you want to practice this with both hands. If you're comfortable with your Ocho drops on both hands, it's going to be the same technique. We're doing the drop to thumb down, flip to thumb up, and our single hoop is going from palm down, up to the top. Drop, and bring the whole shape down. Nice. And of course, we want to think about transitions. So how can we go to a different manipulation from this trick? If you do the crank, We can bring the single hoop to our side, place a hoop on our shoulder, and we're set up for the placements. Or you can crank the hoop down, twist, twist, twist to a vertical line, and we're into the over the head placements. Okay, the next manipulation I want to show you looks like this. This is the more basic variation, and we'll work up to a more advanced version. You're going to start 2 hoops in the ocho grip, thumb up, and the other hoop also thumb up. You're going to bring the single hoop over the top and across to the opposite side. You want to grab the hoop on the other side, release the hoop on the bottom, swing it over your thumb, and regrip in the thumb up position. Now, the single hoop on this side is going to come over the top, grab the other hoop, release the blue hoop at the bottom, roll over the thumb, and back to our straight line. So for these grips, you use a lot of this, like what I call lobster claw grip. So you're using your fingers and your thumb to grab into that ocho grip. So you're going to use that a lot. Again, over the top, lobster claw, grab the other hoop, release at the bottom, swing back to thumb up. Over the top, swing out, over the top. Notice that I'm kind of tracing this hoop as I come out to help keep the shape. If you're crossing the hoops, you kind of lose that visual. So keep on the outside of the hoops to keep the shape. Once that feels comfortable, you can do a more advanced variation of the trick. I'll show you what it looks like first. Okay, so this one, you're starting in our line, thumb up. We're gonna flip our ocho grip to thumb down, bring the single hoop over the top, across, grab the hoop, swing this hoop on the outside out, and we're back in our starting position, thumb facing up. Now, flip your ocho grip to thumb down, single hoop comes over and across, grab the hoop, release the other one, swing out, back to thumb up. Okay, so you should end back in your thumb up position, and then to start the pattern, flip to thumb down. Over the top, swing back to the line. Flip to thumb down, over and across, swing back to the straight line. Now you can do this in one fluid motion. Flip to thumb down, over the top, flip and swing over the top. So you're going straight from this position, flipping the thumb down as you bring the hoop over the top. Okay? And again, this is a more advanced version of this trick. So take your time with the other one and work up to this. I also have a detailed tutorial of this trick on my YouTube. One more time, flip to thumb down, come across to the other side, release at the bottom, flip your ocho to thumb down as you come over the top. Okay? So you're always grabbing the hoop across on the other side, across to the other side. The next trick we're going to learn is this Lego. Legos are when we are passing the hoops from one hand to the other. And this one is super fun to use as a transition into other manipulations. You're going to start in the vertical ocho grip with your palms facing forward. For this one, it's important that the top hoop is resting on your shoulder to help keep everything flat against your body. The bottom hoop is going to come down all the way up top. You're going to grip the hoop here and release the hoop on the inside. Now you're in this like awkward grip here. You have to twist back to thumb up position. Now the bottom hoop is gonna come down in front of your body all the way up top. Keep your hands close together. Grab the hoop here into the ocho, release, and twist out to the side. One more time. Bring the hoop down in front. I'm resting the hoop on my shoulder here. Twist and come back. From the side, come in front, release, and twist. One more time, the hoop at the bottom is gonna come down and on top of the single hoop, grab into the ocho, release on the inside, twist out. And remember to rest that top hoop against your shoulder here so that the hoop doesn't like fold over as you come across. We're here, the hoop's gonna come down on top, grab, and flip back to the outside. Do this one real slow, back and forth until it feels comfortable. And eventually you can twist and swing the two hoops over at the same time, just to get a little bit more smooth visual. Okay, eventually a variation you can work up to, rather than twisting the hoop out, from this position, this cradle position, you can bring the hoop up across your neck and push to catch the hoop back in the same hand. Again, bring the hoop up, grab, release here, and from this position, you're gonna bring it up and roll to catch back in the same hand. The main thing with this one is you want to avoid turning to look for the roll. And you'll also notice that you need a little bit more momentum to get that hoop up and over your neck. So really push it up, bring your wrist high, up close to your ear, keep your posture facing forward, wait for the hoop to fall off at your neck and catch on the inside. One more time. Add in a roll, come back to the regular, add in a roll. And we can use this as a transition. We can flip back to our horizontal line. From here, if you're doing the Lego, when you twist this hoop out, you're going to flip your ocho grip to thumb facing up. So now we're in our horizontal line, thumb up. One more time, we're in this position, twist out and flip to thumb up. Then you can do it in one fluid motion here. And from here we can go into that other manipulation that we were practicing. We can also flip to our horizontal, twist the shape, and go into the over the head placements. We can also go right back to our placements. From here, twist, bring the hoop down to your side, place on your shoulder, and we're set up for the placements. We can also go from the placements back to that Lego. So from here, you're gonna remove the hoop and you're in this position. Bring this hoop over, grab into the ocho, remove this hoop, and you're set up to go right back in to this manipulation. So one more time, we're in the placements. When you're ready, remove one from your shoulder. So you'll have one in each hand and one on your shoulder. Place into the ocho, remove, and you're set up here. And you can go back into those other manipulations that we had learned, add in the tosses, and try to create a sequence. The last manipulation I want to show you is one of my favorites. This is what it looks like. Okay, this one we're going to start in a vertical line. So what's happening with the two hoops is you're gonna have 2 hoops in a ocho grip with your palm facing down. From here, you're going to keep the bottom hoop in the center and rotate this hoop to the bottom. So go up to the top and back down to the bottom. You want to keep this center hoop in isolation. You want to keep that in the same place. Up to the top and down to the bottom. Nice. Now we want to practice that with the other hand. We have our ocho grip, palm facing down. You're going to bring the shape down and back up to the top. Down and back up to the top. Okay, for the single hoop, what's happening? You're gonna start at the very top with your palm facing down. Now we want to draw a straight line and isolate the hoop down to the bottom. When the hoop gets to the bottom, you want to let it roll over the top of your hand, so now your palm is facing up. From here, you're going to push the hoop back up in a straight line up to the top. So now our palm's facing down. Bring the whole shape down in a straight line. Roll over your hand, palm is up. Bring the hoop up and back down. Now you can try this in one fluid motion. Really focus on keeping that hoop in a straight line as you come down. You don't want to let it roll out to the side. And of course we want to practice this on both sides. Down, back to the top. Let the hoop come down, rotate over your hand, regrip, palm facing up, and bring the hoop up. Once that feels comfortable, we can link everything together. To start this trick, you're gonna have your vertical ocho grip with your palm facing down, and then your single hoop at the bottom with your palm facing up. Okay, we're in our vertical line here. You're going to grab the hoop at the bottom and release the hoop at the top. Okay, now the hoop that's up top is gonna make that straight isolation line. We can go in front or behind, it doesn't matter. You're gonna bring that hoop down as we rotate the 2 hoops up, okay? Down as we rotate up, roll the hoop at the bottom, grip at the bottom, release at the top. Now we can repeat. We're gonna rotate the 2 hoops up at the same time as we come down in a straight line here. Roll the hoop at the bottom, regrip, release the hoop at the top, come down, and roll. So notice this is happening at the same time. Release that hoop up top, bring it down so they pass in the center, and follow through to come back to that vertical line. And notice that I'm resting the hoop here on the back of my arm, just to help keep that hoop really isolated. So here it's resting on the back of my fingers as I come down, resting on the back of my wrist, that center hoop, just to help keep the shape really nice and isolated. Any of these tricks we've learned today, it's super helpful to do them in front of a mirror so you can see what's happening. Also really valuable to record yourself doing the tricks and then watch it, and you can see kind of how your shape's looking and where you can improve. Okay, one more time. Remember, the hoop at the bottom has to be palm facing up. So you're gonna grab at the bottom, release at the top, isolate down as you bring the 2 hoops up, roll the hoop at the bottom, grab, release at the top, come down, roll over your hand, grab at the bottom, release at the top. So from here, we can twist so our palm's facing down and go right into those over the head placements. We can go into placements, maybe into that Lego. So always thinking about how we can transition from one manipulation to the other. All of these manipulations involve this ocho grip. So if you know you can get back to your horizontal line or your vertical line, you can transition back and forth and start to create sequences. A really fun way that you can get into your ocho grip in that horizontal line, you can start with all the hoops in your dominant hand, and you're gonna have this like lobster claw grip with your thumb and your fingers over top like this. From here, the bottom hoop, you're gonna swing the hoops across your body, grab the bottom hoop, drag, grab into the ocho grip, and the hoop that's left in front is gonna roll over your thumb and re-grip, thumb facing up. So now you're set up to go into any of those other manipulations that we learned from that horizontal position. One more time. We have the hoops in our lobster grip, flip, so your palm is facing away from you. Come across your body, grab one hoop, grab into the ocho grip, and the single hoop swings over your thumb and re-grips here. We can also do that into our vertical line, into the over the head placements. You're gonna start with the hoops in your lobster claw with your palm facing towards you. The bottom hoop, you'll grab palm facing down, grab into the ocho grip, and this hoop up top comes over and swings behind, and you'll come in to this hoop, grab at the bottom, and you're set up for those over the head placements. A really fun thing we can do from this drop is this nice turn. Okay, there's a basic variation and a more advanced. So to start, you're gonna have two hoops in the ocho grip, thumb facing up, and your single hoop out here. Flip to thumb down, bring the hoop under, toss under your arm, and catch over top in the same hand. From here, you're going to flip the single hoop to thumb down, rotate, bringing the two hoops behind your head, and grab here so you're in this triangle shape. Now release the opposite hand and simply twist the hoops down to your side. Okay? One more time. Thumb up, flip to thumb down, toss, catch over top, flip to thumb down, rotate, bringing the one hoop, this hoop out here is gonna go up to the top, grab in the triangle, release the opposite hand, and twist back down. Now, extra advanced variation, we can add in an ocho drop into it. Okay, what's gonna happen, you're going to flip to thumb down, drop into your thumb down ocho, and catch here, okay? Flip to thumb down, come under, drop and toss, okay? Our ocho grip's now thumb down. Flip to thumb down, rotate, grab at the top, release on the side, and swing down, okay? Do it very slowly, one step at a time, and then eventually you can do it all as one fluid motion. Okay, great job making it through to the end of this class. We went through so much information, and these tricks are really, really hard. So just remember, take your time with each step and have fun with it. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more tutorials, and reach out to me if you want to do a private lesson.